In this last episode of this series of 90s and Noughties UK, Joe from the podcast Hallmark of Greatness joins me to play 2 rounds of Celebrity Birthdays.
This is 90s and Noughties UK, a podcast on UK pop culture of the 90s and 2000s. If you want to contact the show, email 90esandnoughties@gmail.com, tweet us on @90esandnoughties UK on Twitter, or check us out on Facebook, 90s and Noughties UK.
It's time for Celebrity Birthdays, and now I'm joined by Joe from a very unique podcast. Tell us about it, Joe.
I am from the Hallmark of Greatness podcast, where we look at, evaluate, and sort of revere in the banal warmth of Hallmark and made-for-TV films. So all those films that are essentially the same plots over and over again, but told in slightly different ways. We watch them, dissect them, score them out of 10, and have quite a bit of fun doing it. We've not been doing it. We're doing it for a couple of months now. It's a lot of fun because a lot of these films are genuinely terrible, but they keep getting made. Hallmark churns out about 80 of these a year. Lifetime does the same. Hallmark have 2 channels where they show this stuff. And I genuinely love it because it's a comfort. It's you're not surprised by anything that's going to happen. It's the equivalent of just wrapping yourself in a big duvet.
Christmas must be especially a really bad time for that stuff. That must be where half of the quota comes from.
If you want, I can send you someone sent us a picture of the front covers of these things, and it's man and woman in red and green jumpers stood in front of a fireplace, and it's just like, you know, those mosaics made of people's faces, and it's like Bob Marley's face. It's like that, but of just the same picture. And they're always called a Christmas miracle, a Christmas story, a Christmas the home for Christmas. They're the same thing over and over again, but I like that. It's oddly comforting in a world that over the past year has been so horrific and uncertain, to just know that no matter what happens, Susan will always end up with Chip.
Do you see the same actors in these films, or is it just seems to be
a lot of the directors are the same? You do get overlaps of actors and actresses, but they're fairly interchangeable. Like, unless it said at the start, starring such and such, I wouldn't be able to spot the difference between blonde hair woman, brown hair woman. That's as much as it does, because they're not really meant to be characters. They're meant to be ciphers for you to project yourself into. Like, not to get into it, but I was having an argument with one of my co-hosts the other day about Keanu Reeves, and he's saying he's a terrible actor. And he said, well, he is, but he's not meant to be good. He's meant to be an empty vessel for you to pour yourself into. The Matrix is meant to be you in that situation. John Wick is meant to be you in that situation. And he just doesn't understand that. And that's how I feel in these Hallmark films, is that they're predominantly female oriented. And it's meant to be for them to sort of, it's like a safer version of a Mills and Boon book.
I think that's a very good kind of estimation of the whole thing. You're about to play Celebrity Birthdays. How do you find your celebrity knowledge?
I mean, British celebrities from the 90s is bang within my wheelhouse, because that's when I spent a lot of time indoors, alone, not being a popular sporty boy. So I watched a lot of television, a lot of film. I read a lot of stuff. It was the early days of the internet, so we dabbled in that. not to sound big-headed, but I have a very sort of encyclopedic knowledge of sort of British comedy and things from that time period as well, and just stuff that like was shown once and was never shown again, and things like that. It's something that I have an odd sort of photographic memory for things like that, but I can't remember birthdays. I can't remember phone numbers. Yeah, it's like literally my unlock codes and my PIN numbers on my wife's birthday, because don't steal my bank accounts. But it's because otherwise I can't remember them. But I can remember all I can recite entire scripts of Bottom. Not useful in any way.
I mean, is that the word or the very extensive, I would imagine, physical element of it?
All of it.
Smash his cable overhead, you know.
The bus driver will know when he hasn't paid his fare. Yeah, it's just because it's something that I've always loved Rick Mail as well from growing up. A lot of my sort of adult personality is based on him, and it's just that thing of I just always had this sort of deep love for, especially sort of because that was my formative years, the 90s sort of, especially British pop trivia, I guess, if you will. But I don't like using that term because it makes it sound like it's not really, it's not a skill. You know what I mean? It sort of demeans it slightly.
Well, there we are. Let's move on from that, shall we? Let's move on. And since this is the last episode, I thought what we would do is play 2 rounds. So they are 2 celebrities that are celebrating their birthday in the week of this broadcast, but we're not going to confuse you by playing 2 games at the same time. That would just be really nonsensical and confusing. Let's start with the first one, and I assume that you've heard this before, so Joe, please start your questioning.
Are they a musician?
But they are sort of a musician. They've written songs and they've sung them. They might play an instrument.
Okay. Have they acted in anything?
Yeah, they've done a little bit, I think, but not too much. Mainly on stage, I think.
Ooh. Are they a lady?
Yes.
So it's a lady who has written music, been on stage. Am I, as of today, over 40 years old?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Ooh, this is a tricky one. Musician lady, 40, appeared on stage. Written music for other people.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. But has written songs.
Has written songs.
Am I from the UK?
No.
No, okay, that's put pay to that one then.
Here you go. I'll help you out a little bit.
If you could.
Yeah, they were in a band, and they've also had hits as a solo artist as well.
Okay. So, on stage, though?
Yeah, I mean, that's slightly confusing. They'd be more known for being in a band during the 2000s.
Oh, but they have done... Okay.
They've done stage work, yeah.
In the 2000s, okay, that's a... Was I in a trio?
No.
No. Curses. I'm having a struggle with this. So I don't play an instrument, but I've written songs. I was in a group. Was I the lead singer in the group?
Yes.
Was it a girl group?
Yes. We're getting closer, aren't we?
I want to say, but she plays an instrument and you weren't sure. Because I want to say Susanna Hoffs.
No.
No?
We're slightly too late for that.
Oh,
stage.
Yes, we are, aren't we? I'm way off base there, yeah.
You're in the right wheelhouse, though.
In the 2000s, that was too late for 4 non-blondes.
I can give you another clue. She's also been a judge on reality television.
Oh, I don't watch reality television. Sharon Osbourne.
Nope.
No, I'm just going through them in my head. Sorry. What was she called? She's not American though.
Are you thinking of Cheryl?
I was thinking of Louise Nerding Redknapp for some reason, and I was like, no, hey, that's well off base anyway. American Judge, a talent show,
but on British television.
Oh,
which should help you. And I'll narrow it down. She was a judge on the X Factor.
I've never watched the X Factor. It holds no interest for me.
They had an extremely big hit, which was quite provocative in its time.
Oh, am I Nicole Scherzinger?
Yep.
That crikey! Oh, I've got my brain.
That's genius.
Has she written songs for other people? I thought she was just a glorified dancer that hawked yogurt.
Well, in your mind, perhaps.
No. So, yeah, not to take away from Miss Scherzinger. Wow, God, that hurt my brain. That I had to dig right back into the recesses there. That was fun, though. I enjoyed that.
Well, you got there in the end.
Yeah, it's a long, tortured path, though, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, because she was in the band Pussycat Dolls, of course, and their song was "Don't Ya."
Oh yes,
which was quite provocative in its time.
I'm trying to remember other Pussycat Dolls songs now. There was that and something about buttons.
Yeah, I think it was just called Buttons.
And it's not about the pantomime character, I guess.
No. No, I guess not. Well, there we are. You got it after a little bit of...
a lot of cajoling.
Yeah. It's all right. It's fine. It's your first time playing. But yeah, Nicole Scherzinger is celebrating her birthday this week. Happy birthday to her. Now, unusually, we're going to go on to another round. So, Joe, whenever you're ready, start your questioning.
Ooh. Are they an actor?
Yes.
Are they British?
No.
No. Are they a teen heartthrob?
I guess. I mean, you might have to adjust the language slightly.
Okay, so not teen.
Well, yes, they were teen.
Okay.
But you might have to adjust the language slightly on the word heartthrob.
Is that gendered? Were they a teen sweetheart then?
Possibly.
Okay. Were they in films?
Yes.
Yeah, so not television.
They've done a little bit of television, but I don't think you'd know that show. But she has done a lot of movies. And just to help you out here, we are talking late 90s, early 2000s.
Are they blonde?
I think they've been several different hair colours throughout their career.
Have they appeared in a Batman film?
Not as far as I know.
It was a long shot. Are they more known for comedy roles?
Possibly. I looking at the list of films here, I would say, yeah, it's more comedy. It's more comedy. And for a little while, very much skewed to one studio.
Ooh.
So one producer of films in particular, appearing in a string of them.
Were they in a series of films?
I wouldn't say... No, it wasn't a series.
So it wasn't like a Twilighty sort of thing. No. It was... Right, yeah.
But it was one studio making a lot of films with this one person in it.
That's really confusing me now.
Well, name a studio, apart from Hallmark, obviously.
That's all I know.
that make lots of films, usually with the same kind of people in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with. Because... Oh.
Well, if I was to say, this is not a clue to the identity of the person, but the identity of the studio I'm thinking of. When you wish upon a star, which was featured in the film.
Oh, so Disney.
Yeah.
It's featured in Disney. So There's a lot of films for Disney. Is it? It's not. No, it's not Miley Cyrus, surely.
No.
No, actor.
No, you're on the right track because you're talking about sort of a child teen star.
Oh, what's she called?
In quite a few things as well. I can give you a clue in just a moment. After your next question.
Has she been in films where she's required to dance?
Not as far as I know.
So it's not who I'm thinking of there, then, no.
She appeared in a remake of a movie which originally starred Hayley Mills.
Oh, it's... What's her name? I can see her face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It won't come to me. It's in there. Give me a second. Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, got it.
What? Flipping heck. Yes, because she did the Herbie reboot and all that jazz, didn't she?
Yeah.
And the Jamie Lee Curtis one.
Mm-hmm. Freaky Friday.
That's the one. I think it was going to be Halloween.
Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen as well. Other movies include Mean Girls and Just My Luck, which had McFly in it.
I wouldn't know it if it fell on me.
It was better than it had any right to be, is usually a phrase I use for movies of that kind.
It was the Parent Trap, wasn't it? The Hayley Mills one.
It was the Parent Trap, that's
yes.
Right. I still haven't seen that remake.
I'd say watch Mean Girls and then stop as far as Lindsay Lohan goes.
I didn't mind the Herbie one. I thought it had that same kind of vibe going on that it was trying to revive, but it was like, maybe we're a bit too late. Maybe they should have, they should have got the original guy to be in it.
As a little nod and wink, yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
So, I said it wasn't terrible, but she's very diminished. Isn't she trying to mount a comeback now?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's going for sort of Oscar bait things now, isn't she, though?
Possibly. I don't keep up with it. I spend a lot of time talking about these things in the same way that you spend your time talking about Hallmark movies.
It's wow.
And the thing is, you got both of those, and it really is the luck of the draw, right? Because I record these weeks in advance, and so I don't pick them based on whether I think you'll know them. It's random.
Oh yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of people having birthdays, and you can only pick so many.
It's absolutely random. So yeah, that was fun. Well done for getting both.
I need to lie down now. Yeah.
Well, you're the first person to play 2 in one episode.
It takes it out of you.
Well, I'm going to cut it down slightly because there were a lot of pauses.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Give a plug to your podcast.
Hallmark of Greatness. You can find us on Apple Music, Spotify, Good Pods, all the regular places. You follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great or Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. If you've got any ideas or films you want us to cover, any particular Hallmark stinkers that stick out in your brain, let us know because we will find them. We will review them. It feels like a penance at this point. So just to finish the show here, recommend one terrible Hallmark movie to me right now, and it will just end on you recommending this movie. The worst film we have ever reviewed is Breaking Legs. Pitches itself to be a sort of step-up High School Musical, but it was clearly written for 18-year-olds, and the cast are 13. So it's horny in all the wrong places.
Thank you for listening to 90s and Noughties UK, a podcast on UK pop culture of the 90s and 2000s. Please remember to rate, comment and subscribe on your favourite podcast provider. If you want to contact the show, email 90sandnoughties@gmail.com, tweet us on @90sandnoughties UK on Twitter, or check us out on Facebook, 90s and Noughties UK.